Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today and finding some time out of your busy schedules to attend our webinar. The topic of today's session is most popular e-commerce platforms, SEO pros and cons, and migration issues. Our session will include a question and answer section after the presentations of our speakers, as always, so please feel free to put your questions into the chat box as they arrive, and we will answer them after the speeches are over. Today we have a co-branded webinar hosted by Promodo and Magnetic One or Cart-to-Cart. Before we start, I would like to mention in a few words who those companies are and why we think we're entitled to speak on today's topic. Promodo company has been providing complex online marketing services for almost 10 years now, since 2004. Since that time, we have gained Google Analytics and Google AdWords partnership certificates, won a couple of top SEOs badges and nominations by Promotion World magazine. Also, we have become marketing partners of Shopify and Xcart e-commerce platforms and have worked with more than 350 clients worldwide, helping them solve various online marketing issues they faced. And our today's partners, Magnetic One Company and their daughter project, Cart-to-Cart, automated shopping cart migration service. They launched in 2009 as a service that requires no technical skills for customers, which is secure, accurate, quick, and automated, and performs automated shopping cart migrations from more than 50 e-commerce platforms, including those we are going to be talking about today. Currently, Cart-to-Cart have more than 11,000 happy customers worldwide. And now I would like to introduce our today's speakers. First speaker is going to be Yuri Stak. Yuri is head of marketing department at Magnetic One, and after a year when he joined Magnetic One team, he already was awarded responsibility to carry all marketing activities of their flagship product, Cart-to-Cart. And finally, Yuri became head of marketing department, and currently he is responsible for all strategic planning, marketing management, and public relation in the company. The second speaker is going to be me. My name is Anna Karlek, and I'm International Marketing Manager at Promodo. In past, I was SEO consultant and Promodo for a couple of years. I used to work with sites of lots of niche, including gambling, dating, and e-commerce. I'm also a Google Analytics certified individual, a regular contributor to Promodo and external blogs, and as you can see, a pretty frequent speaker at the webinars. And now I will be giving the floor to Yuri, who will actually share his insights on shopping cart migrations.
Hello everyone, it's Yuri. Once again, welcome to our webinar and thank you for coming. So I will start with a brief analysis of how shopping cart popularity has changed over the last year and talk mainly about Magento, Shopify, Bigcommerce, and Volusion. So let's start with Magento. The platform was founded back in 2000 and it currently powers up to 200 web stores across the world. And as you can see, key countries are USA, Canada, Great Britain, Russia, and Australia. And a lot of researchers also claim that Magento currently takes up to 26% of shopping cart market, being a leading solution and top one solution in the world. As you can see from this slide, Magento is used mostly by Magento is used by a growing number of merchants. According to BuildWith, the number of Magento stores is growing and currently reached 7,000 mark, which means that popular online stores tend to use Magento more often than any other solution. At Cart-to-Cart, we also see a constant growth of migrations to Magento. Approximately 40% of all our customers decide to transfer their online retailer from existing platform to Magento. Also, comparing to the last year, number of migration to Magento increased up to 24%. And let's continue with Shopify. Shopify was launched in 2006, and currently it is the biggest player on the market of hosted shopping carts. According to different estimates, there are from 50 to 100,000 of stores that use Shopify, and it covers around 10% of the entire shopping cart market. Shopify is the most popular in the USA, Canada, Australia, United Kingdom, and Germany. Compared to Magento, that can boast of 7,000 web stores in Alexa top million, Shopify can boast of only 2,000 of stores. And the next, some curious facts from cart to cart. Nearly 6% of all migrations are performed to Shopify, and this is 2 times more than the result we had in the last year. It shows us that Shopify is now getting even more popular. And Bigcommerce. Bigcommerce is a hosted platform from the USA. It was launched in 2009 and currently powers 50,000 of live stores. According to the latest researches, Bigcommerce covers 5 to 7% of shopping cart market. It is the most widely used in the USA, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, and Brazil. As you can see, there are more Bigcommerce stores in Alexa top million than Shopify's. This is still less than Magento has, however, it is the second best results among platforms we are going to discuss today, and the best result among all hosted solutions. According to our stats, nearly 3% of all migrations that cart-to-cart had in the last year were performed to Bigcommerce, and vice versa. Almost the same number of Bigcommerce merchants decided to move away. In most cases, they moved to Shopify and Magento. And a few words about Volusion. It was launched back in 1999. According to different estimations, there are from 25 to 50,000 of stores using Volusion in the world, and Volusion is mostly popular in the USA, Canada, Australia, and United Kingdom. Volusion is the only shopping cart that shows a decrease in the number of stores in Alexa top million from almost 3,000 to 2,800, even though it may seem not to be a big number. However, this tendency is now seen for a few years in a row. So actually Volusion is losing their positions. And according to our stats, another indicator of decreasing interest to Volusion is a number of migrations from Volusion, which is 5 times more than the number of migrations to Volusion. And to sum up, let's check Google Trends, comparison of all 4 platforms for the last. Note that Magento is the leader, while Shopify is getting more popular in the last few years. And Bigcommerce and Volusion are currently staying at the same level. However, don't forget, Bigcommerce is 10 years younger than Volusion. Next. I will going to talk about general migration issues and how to avoid them. Yes, customization. It is probably the most common problem we experience again and again, and it's really hardly customized stores that people want to migrate to or from. And don't get me wrong, installing modules, setting up themes, and making all the necessary customization is a great thing to do with your store. However, we strongly recommend to do this after data migration, not before. It will simplify your life. It will extremely simplify your life. And next, another common and a bit silly mistake we often see that merchants do, they forget to hide development store from Google, which results in full clone of a live store. And Google or any other search engine doesn't really like that. As a result, both sites are going down in rankings, which is definitely not the thing you would like to see with your site. And the last one, the most common issue, is IP problem. Since during migration, server gets some requests from cart to cart or any other migration script that you may use, those requests may be assumed by a server as a threat or even a hack and block, and the server the IP. So migration will be interrupted and you'll see a lot of problems. That is why it is highly recommended to whitelist the IP you are going to use for migration at your server. Here is a link to a short guide. We will send you the copy of the presentation so you will be able to check it later. And now let's move to some pre- and post-migration recommendations for Magento, Shopify, Bigcommerce, and Volusion. Yeah, backup. Backup all the things. It's always what we are talking about, whether you are using cart-to-cart or especially when you're using another solution, it is a good idea to have a backup. Even though cart-to-cart doesn't affect the shopping cart you are moving from and you don't even have to stop selling during the migration, we always say our clients to backup, just in case. And permission. Once again, whether you are using cart-to-cart or another solution, you'll have to grant this solution with appropriate FTP permissions in order to enable migration. It can be done with use of FTP client like FileZilla. In most cases, a folder that contains breach files or a script has to be granted with 777 permission. And the other common problem, we also recommend to keep images in shopping cart default image folder, or at least move them to this folder during the migration, since 99% of all issues related to image migration are caused because images are stored in a non-default folder. And here we come to some specific Magento migration tips. We often see people who are moving from less resource-consuming platforms like Ecommerce, like OpenCart, like Virtumart, to Magento, and Magento requires a far more powerful hosting to work properly. It is a good idea to check if your current hosting meets all the requirements. I leave the link with a detailed guide here, right here, and so you could check it later. The next tip refers only to cart-to-cart migration, since multi-store migration is our unique feature. As you may know, Magento offers opportunity to run several absolutely different stores from a single admin panel. In case you have a platform that supports the same option like PrestaShop or OpenCart, you can migrate all of them to Magento with saving all the relation between stores, products, orders, and clients. So you only have to create appropriate stores in your Magento admin panel and map them the way you need. And we currently see a lot of merchants skipping this option and after some time returning to us and asking us to remigrate the entire store just to map them correctly. And don't forget to perform reindex and clear cache after moving to Magento. Otherwise, none of the migrated products will be displayed at the storefront. I also attached a link to a detailed guide here, so you can check it later. Shopify's turn now. Due to some Shopify's peculiarities, when you move your clients from another platform, they are migrated as inactive users. And in order to activate them, Shopify automatically sends a follow-up letter. So it is really good idea to notify your customers about migration before doing it, to avoid misunderstandings after. Another common issue include non-standard letters, such as umlauts in product names. Simply replace them before migration, otherwise it may cause some incorrect product names at your target store. And short intro to the third point, hosted carts like Shopify, like Volusion and Bigcommerce are generally migrated in two ways, via CSV, XML or any other file, or via API. In most cases we recommend to use API since it is more accurate and quick option. That is why if you are moving from API, you have to know where to take API key and API password. They are required to make data migration possible itself, and you can easily find them within your Shopify admin panel. And here is another link with a short guide to help you, so you could check it later. And Bigcommerce. Talking about Bigcommerce, there are several general tips recommended to follow. The first one is to make sure all your products have names, since migration of products without names will be interrupted. And the second one is to prepare your API path and token, which is pretty much the same as for Shopify. And here is the link attached to check a detailed guide. And finally, Volusion. The first and the most common problem our clients run into is a limited number of products available according to a pricing plan. For instance, if you have 1001 product at your source card, Volusion, or any other card, and you migrate it to Volusion pricing plan with limit of 1000 products, your migration will fail. So before moving to Volusion, make sure your pricing plan fully meets your requirements. Another frequent problem with Volusion is a CSV file export that is only available with higher priced plans. So if you don't migrate by using API, you need to make sure your pricing plan allows file export. And some general post-migration tips that can be applied to each of platforms we've discussed today. First of all, ask your clients to restore their passwords if you didn't migrate them. For instance, Card2Card doesn't support password migration since it violates security terms. Generally speaking, if you are offered to migrate password with 90% probability, it means that all your clients' passwords are going to be hacked and only then transferred. I think this is not the best idea. It would be much safer to ask your clients simply restore their passwords. In one of the slides before, I mentioned that it is a bad idea to customize your store before migration. However, it is the best thing you can do with your shop after migration. Install all the necessary modules, set up a template, and do all the customizations you need. Here we go. The last one, but not the least. Test everything before going live. Make a test purchase, try to register as a user, make sure that there are no errors on your new shop, and only then launch it. And that's everything I wanted to tell you about, so thank you for your attention. Here is your gift from Card2Card, a special 10% discount code. If you decided to switch your platform in the nearest future, simply use it at our migration wizard. So I'll pass the word to Anna.
Thank you, Yuri. It was really informative. As for me, before actually moving to assessing our shopping carts from the standpoint of SEO, I would like to assess them just from the standpoint of just a business owner and e-commerce owner. So what we would be usually looking for in an e-commerce platform. First of all, we want to make sure that they're affordable, that they have user-friendly and customizable design templates, because most of the website owners are not ready to invest huge sums into customizing their design and hiring design agencies. So it is a good idea to make sure that you have some templates available you can choose from. If we're talking about hosted solutions like Shopify, Volusion, and Bigcommerce, of course we want to make sure that they have high. If we are talking about promoting our stores, of course we want to be sure that they meet all SEO and marketing requirements. And again, as we don't want to hire a dedicated team of developers every time we want to change anything, a tiny small thing on our website, we want to make sure that we can access the admin and that the admin has everything in place. All the features are simple, accessible, and intuitive. And of course, especially during the migration process, we are very much interested in helpful and accessible support of the platform. And besides, some additional features are a good bonus, something like social integration or extensions, built-in apps, and etc., etc. So let's compare our platforms. In terms of prices, if you look at this chart, from the first glance, it seems like Magento and Volusion are the best options here. But we need to understand that Magento community version is actually free. Yes, it is an open source platform. But first of all, it's self-hosted, which means that if with the other three, hosting is already included into the price because they host your site for you. With Magento, you are going to take care of hosting yourself, which means that you have to spend extra money. And if we talk about Volusion, why I've put a small asterisk here. Volusion is reported with lots of hidden additional fees. And this is one of the main reasons why Volusion gets so many negative feedback right now. Because they claim to have 0 transaction fees, they have very low monthly fee prices, but in fact you end up paying extra for bandwidth, for use of their shopping cart software, shipping software, and whatnot, and it goes on, and you can never actually plan in advance exactly how much you are going to spend on well, support of your website and your platform. So we have Shopify and Bigcommerce, right? With Shopify, the cheapest package starts from $29 per month, but with the cheapest plan, you will have to pay a transaction fees. A transaction fee is going to be 2%. With Bigcommerce, the cheapest package costs more. It's almost 35, but you are allowed more storage there. For Shopify, it's going to be only 1 gigabyte, and for Bigcommerce, 5. And well, definitely 5 gigabytes seems more reasonable when you think that you are allowed unlimited amount of products. And with Bigcommerce, unlike Shopify, you are going to be charged for transaction fee only for the cheapest plan. For the other two, no transaction fees required. For Shopify, you are not charged a transaction fee with the maximum package. With Magento, I've put like the maximum package price 1,400, but actually this is not going to be Magento Community already. This is Magento Enterprise price. This is for stores which are, well, growing really, really big, really huge, I would say. Performance. As I have already mentioned, Magento is a self-hosted platform, so it is going to be pretty different here. So we are not talking about storage bandwidth and uptimes because it is going to depend on your hosting provider. With Shopify Volusion and Bigcommerce, storage almost always isn't limited. With Shopify, it's only limited with the first the cheapest plan. Bandwidth is unlimited with Shopify and Bigcommerce for all the packages. With Volusion, this is something that I already mentioned. You are limited with 1 to 35 gigabytes, and whenever you exceed it, you pay extra fee. Uptimes. I should say that the assessment that I have here, these are my personal opinions, plus opinions of our customers, plus the feedback that I found on the web, of course. And here, Volusion is not doing good, actually, because lots of people report that Volusion has very poor uptimes. If we talk about Shopify, it is pretty decent, very good, I would say, but sometimes I notice that they tend to have maintenances at strange times of day, I would say. Somewhere in the evening, when usually, well, people tend to be very active and would like to shop something. And, well, no negative feedback was found for Bigcommerce, and, well, I haven't personally seen anything, so I put excellent here. If we talk about site speed, it's okay for Shopify and Bigcommerce, but for Volusion, obviously, if we have lots of issues with server availability, site speed is going to be a little bit worse for the end user. And with Magento, in terms of site speed, Magento is known to be very resource consuming, as Yuri has already mentioned, and it is kind of a complicated and bulky platform. So it requires lots of resources, and usually Magento sites are slow, and this is one of the issues of this platform. Simplicity and friendliness. in terms of support, Volusion has again poor reputation here. People complain that after office hours it is very difficult to reach their support, although it is claimed to be 24/7. It is very good with Shopify because Shopify now currently seems to be very customer-oriented business because they are really trying to put as much attention as possible to their users, so provide all the support necessary. With Bigcommerce, I found kind of 50-50 feedback. Actually, I personally found the knowledge base of Bigcommerce very good and exhaustive because I cannot imagine a person who would not understand anything after reading those posts because everything is step by step with very detailed screenshots and etc. But people report that sometimes support fails to answer in-depth and technical questions, so they tend to be superficial sometimes. And if we talk about Magento, there is very little support, so you cannot call anybody, you cannot chat with anybody 24/7. All the help is help yourself kind, and usually it is created by developers for developers. If we talk about templates, their variety and user-friendliness, all the platforms are doing a good job here. But with Magento, the amount of them is a little less because Magento is a very flexible platform, and the variety of designs and layouts for Magento would be really huge. And I think that is why the necessity for templates is not that high as with the other platforms. Simplicity. As I have already mentioned, well, Magento is a pretty complicated thing. So if you're not a developer, you won't be able to get into grips with this platform. So definitely if you're working with free Magento version, you will need to hire a team of Magento developers to help you. With the other three, it is very simple, with the only trick that some people report that to get into groups with Volusion, you still need some basic knowledge of HTML and CSS. As for mobile friendliness, all the platforms are doing good here. In their default versions, they provide, by default, mobile-friendly versions of the websites. Additional features. I personally find blog very important. To have a blog set up for every e-commerce store. This feature is not present by default for Magento and Volusion. Shopify and Bigcommerce do have blogs. Marketplace. Only Magento can provide you the marketplace, but I think this is not a very common thing you would usually want. This is something for more kind of advanced e-commerce owners. Social commerce, a very interesting and shrewd feature, and Volusion and Bigcommerce have it. Basically, it allows you to sell directly from Facebook. And, well, this is something that goes ahead of time, I would say. Shopify and Magento do not have this. Abandoned shopping cart feature is a very important one to catch up and try to return your customers back to finish their purchase, and all the platforms have this. Daily deals, promos, and coupons, well, this is a very essential feature for an e-commerce store. Only Magento doesn't have it by default, but it means that you need just to work to have it, or you can just install one of the thousands plugins Magento has. Default reviews and ratings for products. Again, almost everybody has it by default except for Magento. Forum features. Volusion and Magento do not provide by default. Shopify and Bigcommerce do. Apps and add-ins and extensions. All the platforms do have them, although Magento, of course, has the biggest amount of them because mostly all the customization of Magento you can do if you do not have developers working on your store is done with the help of extensions, so thousands and thousands of them. Now coming closer to the point. So what do we need actually for search engine optimization? I think you all know that Google uses more than 200 factors to rank websites on the web, including on-site and off-site factors. Of course, none of the e-commerce platforms can possibly cater all of them, but I have created such a very short list of must-have things in terms of SEO. So I wouldn't say that 20 are just, die for points, but at least 15 to 16 out of this list. If you do not have any, you can say that your SEO is going to be doomed. So this is very important. And let's see which of the platforms actually are successful with performing the access to those features. 301 redirects control, definitely very important. And all of the platforms provided, Shopify, Volusion, and Bigcommerce actually have a feature in their admin section. Magento, obviously you can change your 301 redirects because you have control over everything that is going on with your server. You have access to the files on your server. You can change htaccess file. Then control, of course, of titles, which are still one of the most important factors, on-site factors for organic search rankings. So control of titles, headings, H1 tags, H2 tags, H3 tags, etc., and meta descriptions. Meta descriptions, as we know, do not influence rankings directly, but they do influence the clickability of the snippet of your site in organic search results. So here I've put this plus-minus mark for almost everybody except Magento, because usually, yes, the admin provides the possibility to change titles, headings, and descriptions page by page. But when you want, for example, if I want my product pages to have titles like product name plus best price, product name plus free worldwide shipping, it is already more complicated. It will require some templates, use of some templates, and without accessing the source code of the page, I cannot possibly do that. So this is still this still can be done with all of the platforms, but with well, some extra in-depth tech knowledge. You will need to understand what kind of string of code you need to insert into the source file of into the index file of your website. And if we talk about Magento, these issues are very easily solved with just one extension, which is called Advanced SEO Suite. If you're planning to migrate to Magento, I really strongly recommend you to use it, because actually it solves virtually all SEO issues that Magento has. Namely, it enables you to create templates for titles and descriptions. Next here, of course, we want to control over pages content because we know that Google can't live without texts on every pages. Google still is not very good at reading pictures, at understanding the originality of videos and pictures and etc. So we still need to describe everything that is on the page with pieces of unique content. And that is why we need to make sure that we have the access to those snippets of content, and that we have the possibility to add text to all important pages: homepage, category pages, and product pages. And well, from this standpoint, all four platforms are good to go. Now, also we want control over robots.txt file so that we can control if we want to block some extra pages from indexation. By default, all of the shopping cart e-commerce platforms, they generate robots.txt file. But sometimes you have some duplicate pages on your website which you won't be accessible by users, but you want to block from search engine bots, and you need to access your robots.txt file. And with Shopify, you cannot do that. You have no control of your robots.txt file. With Volusion and Bigcommerce, you have options in your admin to change it. With Magento, again, you have direct access to the server, and you can do whatever you want. Next one is control of alt attributes for images. I put it separately because images is kind of an alternative source of traffic for e-commerce stores, and I think it is very important because users tend to search for visual images of the products they want to buy in the web, and this is very important to have optimized images to be able to rank with your product images in Google. And this is why we want control over our alt attributes and possibility to customize them, and again, ideally, possibility to create templates for them. But again, you have access to specific alt attributes, but with templates, there are issues, so you are going to need custom development for that. XML sitemaps. All of the platforms are good to go with this. They are automatically generated, automatically updated, everything is perfect. SEO-friendly URLs and control over URLs. Totally okay with Magento if you use the plugin and with Bigcommerce, but Shopify and Volusion do not provide you the freedom of changing your URLs actually. So you're going to have the URL mirroring the title of the page, but with dashes. Duplicate URL issues. Almost all of the platforms have duplicate URL issues, but well, this is not that grave because they allow you to create 301 redirects and canonicalization of URLs. So you can set canonical tags on all the duplicate pages to point to your original page. With Shopify, there used to be a grave issue with duplicate URLs for product pages, and now they solved it, and with all up-to-date templates, by default, you are going to have canonical tags on all alternative URLs. Volusion also has some kind of issues with homepage duplication, Magento also, but again, as I said, with 301 redirects and canonicalization, you are good to go. Search-friendly navigation and structure. Let me explain what I mean here. Mostly Shopify has issues here, right? Yeah. So this is not a grave issue, but by default, most of the templates have very little categories put on the homepage, and usually Shopify creates one extra step before you can access your category pages. Something like on the homepage they say online shop or store here. Really, this is just stupid from standpoint of a user because you have come to an online shop, you already understand that this is an online shop. Just show me your categories. And well, this kind of issue, it can actually be fixed easily in the admin, but most of the webmasters just don't do that. Next point would be breadcrumbs. This is something that you can spot on your product pages. So the path of the user, this is mostly for users to understand how they got there and how they can go back step by step. And besides, it is extra help for search engine bots because extra links. And breadcrumbs can also be shown sometimes in the snippets of your page in search, which creates extra clickability. Schema.org. Schema.org is a special protocol that enables us to have such beautiful, rich snippets in search. There's a huge of them, but those we are most interested in with e-commerce platforms, with e-commerce stores, are product snippets. So we can have ratings there, we can have pictures there, we can have availability in stock and price. Let us see who enables us to have this. So Shopify by default does not. Volusion, it's not like by default, but actually in their help section you can find a pretty detailed post on how you can implement that with a little bit HTML knowledge. So it's almost okay. With Bigcommerce, the feature is present by default. With Magento, again, you can have it with the extension that I have already mentioned. Yeah, I skipped a couple of points like block, but we have already talked about it. And built-in analytics integration, I mean Google Analytics here, and all the platforms are good to go with it. Next points would be Open Graph Protocol. Open Graph Protocol is very important for social sharing. So if the platform supports it, it will mean that in case somebody likes or shares the post or the product you have on your site, from the URL, the title, the picture, and the description are going to be pulled. So you want to ensure that you are not going to end up with bare URLs who nobody wants to click or share further. So this is pretty important. HTML sitemaps. Let me check who has it. Yeah, all of the platforms provide HTML sitemaps besides Shopify. Why HTML sitemap is that important? Because actually with XML sitemap, you do not have the guarantee that all of the URLs you submit there are going to be indexed. Even Google engineers admit that they are not bound to crawl all of the links there. They just take it to consideration. But to make sure that Google or any search bot crawls every URL on your site, create HTML sitemap, because HTML sitemaps are real live links on the web, and bots, they have to crawl all the links they find. So if you create good HTML sitemaps, if your platform enables you to do that, this is a key to very good rankings for your end pages, your product pages. And just think about it. If you have 5,000 product pages on your website, and every product page brings just one visitor daily, this is already a huge amount of visitors every day. So please make sure that HTML sitemap works. Internal linking opportunities. Basically what I mean here is, again, the possibility to put your product pages to the front. So to create internal links through, we also recommend similar products, blogs, or people also buy this and that, and etc. And if we go back to our checklist, we'll see that internal linking opportunities are present with all of the platforms. And the last point I've put here is Google authorship verification. Actually, is not a must nowadays, but why I recommend you to do this? Because this is just one extra precaution that will make sure that Google knows if somebody steals your content, that you are still the original author of the content, and that you deserve to be ranked higher than the person who scraped your content. Unfortunately, with Shopify, Volusion, and Bigcommerce, you do not have simple solution to verification through Google. But with Magento, of course, you do, because you have, again, the access to your server files. So how migration impacts our rankings and what precautions we need to take. First of all, of course, 301 redirects. This is actually the huge and almost exhaustive bulk of work in terms of SEO when you migrate. Unfortunately, there is no optimized solution for 301 redirecting all of your pages. I know that cart-to-cart guys are working on this, but this is a very grave issue. And of course, I hope you understand that if you do not do 301 redirects, you just simply change the structure of your URLs. Well, congratulations, you are going to start from scratch in terms of your search engine optimization traffic. So you will just lose everything. Maybe your homepage will remain the same, but believe me, it will not actually help you a lot. So make sure to do page-by-page redirects of all of the pages, map all of the pages of your website. Ideally, we need to aim for our site to have only 3 server response codes, which are accessible for users, I would say, and search bots. 200 OK when we have a live web page, 301 redirect when the page has moved, and 404 not found error when the page is gone permanently. And of course, when you create 404 pages, make sure they are customized, so they retain the navigation of your website. Because if a user comes to such a page, you want to make sure that he does not leave your website. That is why you need to show them categories that you have, your homepage, your logo, so make sure that the user still feels comfortable. So again, about redirects. I strongly recommend you to create and map a complete list of your page URLs. But if for some really very serious reasons you are unable to do that, at least download from Google Analytics most successful in terms of traffic pages and map them in the first place. Then download the most linked to pages from your Google Webmaster Tools and map them. Then map all of your category pages and also make sure to redirect your top-selling products page by page. If you have e-commerce tracking enabled in your Google Analytics, you can check top-selling products there. But, well, I'm sure that every website owner knows the list of their best-selling products anyway. Also, of course, if you have access to the server, try to use server redirects rather than, well, redirects in the admin. And use regular expressions to minimize the server load. And of course, after you've done all of your redirection, all your mapping, test your redirects. There are a load of tools, free and paid. The ones I recommend would be Xeno and Screaming Frog. What they will do, they will just crawl your website and fetch you the server response codes for every page they find. And something that I've already talked about, so create good custom 404 pages. Other precautions. Make sure that at least for the first couple of months after you've done the migration, you do not change anything in titles, headings, and texts. First of all, make sure that you move them exactly as you are to your new platform, and just for a month at least, do not change anything there. Make sure to notify your customers of the changes. This is something Yuri told us about. But not just because of change of passwords and everything like this, but because users are going to see that the structure has changed, that the loading speed decreased because evidently you changed the servers, and it is going to be slow for the first time if you visit the site for the first time. So just make sure that users do not get frustrated and lost when they get to your site after migration. Also, make sure that you only use your new URLs in your internal linking, because 301 redirects are good, but still they do not pass fully the value that your old URLs used to have. So make sure to use your new URLs. And of course, if you have control of any backlinks to your site that you used to have to your old site, change the URLs to the new ones too. Because again, still a live link to the new page is better than a link that goes through a redirect. Think about internal linking patterns. Try not to change things there a lot too, because if you used to have say 3 blocks of similar products and now you switched and only have one, be prepared that it is going to affect the quality of indexation of your product pages and, of course, how well Google ranks them. And some of the last points. Of course, update your XML and HTML sitemaps. Well, this is most probably is going to be done automatically for you. And do not forget to submit the new URL to Google Webmaster Tools. And obviously measure your traffic and rankings before the migration and after migration. If you do not have the habit of measuring your rankings, which is pretty odd, I would say, for an average e-commerce website owner, you can use SEMrush tool to see how your website performs exactly and by which keywords it ranks in Google. When you have moved, be prepared to fix at once all SEO bugs of the new platform. For example, duplicate URLs. Every platform has duplicate URLs issues in this or that point. And of course, measure and test everything. Your conversion rates, load times, abandoned carts, rankings, again, traffic, and etc. In terms of analytics, after migration, usually there are two options. Well, what people do, they create a new analytics property and start tracking the site from scratch. Well, this is not totally bad idea. It's okay. But I would recommend you to still use the same Google Analytics code, just install it on your new website. And a good idea would be to create segments to monitor the change of URLs that you have, because the URL structure is going to change, and you will be able to see actually the amount of traffic, how it changes after the migration. And in case you also decided to change your domain name, here is a very handy custom report for Google Analytics. If you follow this link, you will just get this report directly added to your analytics account. Here you will be able to see the full URL so that you understand which domain name used to be before and which domain name it is now. So you will be able to analyze exactly the traffic to each specific domain. And I will allow myself one small prediction also. Your organic traffic will decline anyway, but don't panic. This is just really natural because 301 redirect still cannot pass all the value that you have accumulated. But if you have done everything correctly, and if you monitor your website, if you work in it, if you improve all the tiny issues that arise, you will see organic traffic going back and increasing after 4 to 10 weeks after the migration. So good luck, have a happy migration, and thank you very much for your attention. And now I would like to offer a special bonus from Promodo Company too. This is going to be free online marketing audit of your website. It will look like a small personalized webinar with one of our Google certified experts. During the webinar, you will get quick usability, SEO, and PPC audit of your current website. Get some best practices, conversion rate optimization tips particular to your website, and you will get some general online marketing insights and tactics applicable to your site personally. I'm sending right now the link to chat. Oh, sorry. Let me just pick the link. Yeah, so please feel free to make use of this offer. And I remind you about the offer of card to card, 10% discount code for all website migrations with coupon webinar gift. We are ready to move to our questions. Let me check if we have them. Well, I think we have a question. What do you think of Virtuemart? Yuri, are you with us?
Yes, Virtuemart. Yeah.
Do you have any particular opinion about Virtuemart store?
Yes, it's a very powerful platform since it uses Joomla as CMS. However, we've seen serious decrease in interest to Virtual because of rise of WooCommerce, which actually can offer the same functionality, but it is based on WordPress, which far more easier to use and can offer the same functionality as Joomla. So Virtual that was like number 2 platform for about 2 or 3 last years is now getting behind of WooCommerce, which shows really great growth. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I guess we only have one more question about if the slides are going to be available. Yes, we are going to send everybody the recording of the video of the webinar and the slides of our presentations. For your attention. Yeah, I see one more question coming right now about Bigcommerce migration. We have a legacy website, 14 years old, and we are migrating to Bigcommerce. There are a lot of internal links that will be broken. Would you recommend that we remove them all and then use the built-in recommend product function to associate products instead of building a new links? Now let me think about what I read. I guess that, well, it is okay to change internal linking structure a little bit, unless you still have the decent amount of links going well back and forth. I mean that ideally every product has to have internal links, so at least to the neighboring product has to link it to it and the other, well, like the previous and the next. So if the overall structure is going to be broken, this is pretty understandable because the recommended products engines, they work differently for every platform. But still, if you remain the blocks in place and the amount of internal links that will kind of connect the products remains virtually the same, you are good to go. As I said, of course, you will see some change in rankings and some products will decline, others will grow, but this is only natural. If you monitor it, you will be able to quickly fix it. If you see that some products kind of leak link juice and leak internal linking, you can just add another section of similar products and another section of internal links. Hope that answers your question. Anyway, we had a Bigcommerce team member present at our webinar, and I think that I will email you after the webinar his phone number and his email so that you can ask some questions if you have something particular to ask about Bigcommerce directly from him. Thank you very much, everybody. Well, I hope we provided some good and useful information for you. Please follow other tips that we are able to provide at our blogs and social networks. Thank you very much. Hope to see you online next month at our events too. Have a great rest of the day. Goodbye.